These protesters in Mexico City say cross-border migration is changing their country's capital for the worse. Over the last decade, an influx of mostly American so-called digital nomads have moved here to work remotely and also enjoy a cheaper cost of living.
What's going on, dudes? It's your boy Andy Matrix. I'm back with another video, and as things get just crazy expensive in America, right? As things just get more and more expensive, $2,000 rent, $3,000 rent, eggs are freaking $1 million. Walking costs money, breathing costs money, existing costs money. Pretty soon we're gonna be paying money just for, just for existing. Seriously. But as America becomes more of an expensive place, Americans are migrating to other places, and one of the easiest places to go to is Mexico, right? Because they're right next door, like Canada. And with mass migration of Americans looking for a more affordable life comes a lot of protests. Yeah, which is kind of funny because Americans don't like it when Mexicans move to America, and Mexicans don't like it when Americans move to Mexico. It's like brother and sister. Anyways. All right, dudes, let's get it on. Let's see what's happening.
These protesters in Mexico City say cross-border migration is changing their country's capital for the worse. Over the last decade, an influx of mostly American so-called digital nomads have moved here to work remotely and also enjoy a cheaper cost of living. Protesters say the newcomers have driven up rents beyond the reach of locals.
If they're going to live in a country, they have to contribute to that country. The first and simplest issue is legal migration. They come here with visas or no visas, and still the change in purchasing power generates these problems of gentrification.
Wait, hold on. Time out. They come here with visas or no visas. Does that sound familiar? Kinda like how, a lot of people from Latin America just jump over the border in America and live in America with no documentation, but they actually get treated better. What the heck do I know?
Gentrification and displacement.
I'm here because gentrification is just one more step towards colonization, dispossession, and the exploitation of our resources. Right now it's about the people, but it won't be long before they run out of oil, water, or lithium in other countries and come and take them from us.
Many Americans in Mexico are able to still receive high salaries in dollars from U.S. companies by working on laptops from their apartments.
The government is directing its public policies towards people with higher purchasing power, often illegally displacing local populations who have lived in these neighborhoods for 40, 50, and we have even documented cases of up to 60 years.
Yeah, that's what governments do, didn't you know? Governments always go with whoever puts out the most money. So in this case, a lot of Americans are moving to Mexico, and because they have higher salaries, and the government starts to cater to them because they're bringing in capital to Mexico. That's what's happening. And but at the same time, they're not taking away Mexican jobs. What they're doing is they're simply just moving to Mexico with their American dollars and boosting the economy there. But as a result, that also gentrifies the area. It's gentrification, right? And it's happening everywhere. Wherever like Europeans and Americans migrate to, that area then becomes more expensive. It's happened in the Philippines. It's happening in Thailand. And it's happening in many areas. But it looks like in Mexico, they're really, because it's a lot of Americans moving. Millions moving. So I'm guessing maybe there's not enough space for everybody, but especially since a lot of Americans tend to move to the cities, right? They don't really like to go to to the outskirts of a country. It increases, it makes things more expensive, right? So they're really taking up space. I'm not sure how this problem can be solved, but Yeah, and by the way, this is not the same problem in other countries. Like let's say in Asian countries, it's not the same problem because in places like Indonesia, in Asian countries in general, they take control of immigration. They don't play around. When there's too many people moving in, like immigrating, they start taking control. Look at what happened with Japan. Japan last year, 2024, they got so much tourism, they couldn't handle it. And it increased the level of crime in Japan. They seriously couldn't handle it. And now they're starting to change their travel policies.
In 5 years, rents have increased by 47%. This is
Damn.
violent for the local population. We are debating whether to pay for electricity, water, or food. Of course, we choose to eat.
Some activists blame Mexico's government for encouraging them. However, there's no simple fix. Imposing tougher visa restrictions on Americans could worsen relations with the U.S. Mexican citizens in the U.S. also send billions of dollars in remittances back to their families in Mexico. In a world where travel and communication are faster and easier than ever, these two nations are finding it harder to have neighborly relations. Wilson Dysart, Al Jazeera.
All right, that was Al Jazeera. Yeah, dude. It's and this is one of the reasons why, look, man, if you're looking to get out of America, dude, just don't go to Mexico. Because it's so close. It's right there. It's right there. And the thing is, Mexico is not only cheaper, but it's also warmer. It's warm weather. It's warm weather. Why do you think there's more people migrating over to Mexico than Canada? Our next door neighbors. The reason is because Canada is cold as hell, man. It's cold. It's cold. And this is why, many Americans, like instead of Mexico, just like go down a little further. Take a flight, for God's sakes. Go down to Colombia. Go down to Panama, to Peru. Try those places out. Because there's just way too many people in one area, and then it's just going to be harder. And this is why I like to fly to the other side of the world, like Japan, the Philippines, Indonesia, Vietnam, the absolute other side of the world, because very few people are willing to do that. We're not going to have like 10 million people migrating over to Vietnam. That's not going to happen. There's not a lot of Americans willing to do that. Okay? Or Europeans. Most people, like 80% of the population, they prefer to just stay right there. Like, go to the closest place possible. In this case, Americans going to Mexico. Only 20% of population in most countries, they're the ones that travel far. I'm talking about just the other side of the globe. And if you choose to do that, it'll be a way better option than for you to just go to the country next door, because if everybody's trying to leave, they're going to go to the easiest places, and those are going to get really saturated really fast. So to all the digital nomads out there, all the Xbox and Passport bros, I'm just letting you know, maybe not go to Mexico. There's plenty of other places out there. All right, dudes, that's going to be it for this video. If you like my reaction, if you like what I had to say, make sure to comment below. Make sure to like this video, share this video, subscribe to the channel, hit the notification bell for future notifications. It's your boy Andy Matrix. Godspeed.